So, brothers and sisters, what we've done is we've made a bridge between the oneness of Allah and the next topic that we want to talk about, which is revelation. And we did that by discussing this very, very important topic, the purpose of life. Why are we here? But before we move on to explain to them how can we know the Quran is from Allah, we want to give them some good reasons to believe that Allah, the creator, the one God, this being that has created this universe, because obviously we don't necessarily need to tell them Allah at this stage. We'll get there, inshallah. But inshallah, hopefully they've agreed that there is a power, there is an intelligence, that this being is one, this being is unique, this being is different from everything in the universe, eternal, self-sufficient, and so on and so forth, as we've discussed. And we showed why they need to answer this question: what's the purpose of life? Why are we here? So now I want to discuss how you can explain to them why this creator would actually give us revelation. So the way that I do that is by explaining, well, look, we feel hunger, and the creator of this universe has given us the means to satisfy that hunger. So we feel hunger, we have food. We have thirst, we feel the need to drink. And this creator has given us the means to satisfy that need. He has given us water and he has given us things to drink. Also, we feel the need for companionship, for love, for protection. And this creator has given us all the means to fulfill those needs that we have through companionship, through wives, through family, through tribes, through buildings, through clothes. All of these things are ways that the Creator has provided for our needs. So then how about this need to understand what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? What is it all for? That is also a need that we have. Every human being, believe me, needs to find some sort of answer to that question. And everybody in one way or another does, they find an answer for themselves. But the real issue is, how satisfying is that answer? Is that answer really convincing? And that goes back to what I was saying before. The only way we can really be sure of the reason for which we have been created is when the one who has created us tells us, this is the reason I created you. And we have good reason to believe that the one who fulfilled all of our needs, we have all of these needs, and this creator has fulfilled them, that this creator would also fulfill this existential need. That's what we call it, an existential need, to understand what is the purpose of our life and what is the reality of our existence. So now we want to think about, how has this creator given us this knowledge and this information? Now, of course, there are an unlimited number of possibilities. One of the things that some people think, or they put forward, or they suggest, is that, well, this creator should tell every single one of us individually. Now, there is a reason why that may not be the best way. And the reason is because if everybody is claiming God spoke to me, God told me this, God told me the purpose of life is this. So if you think about it, if everyone is claiming that the creator of all things has given them a message, then it wouldn't take long as you can imagine, and people do this anyway, for people to start saying, well, God told me that you have to give me that, and God told me that I am this over you, and God told me that all of this belongs to me. So very soon human beings would start making claims that God has ordered them with this and God has ordered them with that, and everybody would be making claims against everybody based upon their claim that God told them to do it. So wouldn't it make more sense for God to choose to send a message to a very, very select group of people, or even just one person? And this one person would need to have certain characteristics, certain qualities that would make them reliable, truthful, and trustworthy. And not only that, the message that they received would need to be something that everybody could look at and everybody could examine and everybody could think about, so that we could all see, well, is this really the sort of thing that is a message from God or not? Is this really revelation from God or not? So there's two things here. The revelation would have certain qualities that would be able to identify it as being from God. And the messenger would also have certain qualities and certain attributes that would make us convinced that this person really, really is a messenger from God. Now, I'm going to go into both of those things in a little bit more detail, both the dimension of the revelation. What qualities do we think that something that is from God, it should have in order to be able to identify it? And the messenger. What sort of qualities and attributes do we think that that messenger should have in order for us to be able to identify him as really, really being a messenger from God? So these are the two really important things, and that's all part of our Go Wrap. Now, I know that God and God's oneness and this bridge, it's not mentioned in Go Wrap, but that's something you sort of have to know. How can we bridge the gap between making people understand that there's a creator, making them understand that the creator is one, the creator is unique, the creator is eternal, the nature of the creator is different from the creation, which, again, to remind you, answers the issues to do with Christianity and the divinity of Jesus. We've talked about the purpose of life and why we have good reasons to believe that God would answer this very, very important need that we have to understand what is the purpose of life, and of course, how about the life to come. And now we want to move to the discussing the issue of how can we know a book is from God, and how can we know that a messenger is from God. And we will also talk about the very, very important dimension of the afterlife.